Hey guys, it's Mr. Mailhot again. So here's your second video today. We've been working on this worksheet here, two-step equations, word problems. This is actually for a grade, and it comes in two parts. Let me explain it to you. On the bottom or on the side of your page, you should see a number, something that looks like this. 10 plus something equals circle. I know for first period, if this is first period, I wrote yours differently on the side, but it means the same thing. This is the grade you have in the gradebook right now. It could be a 10, could be a 7, could be lower if you didn't do all the work. You have that grade right now if the work's complete, up to what we've done. That means you have equations, you have things annotated, and you have the variables defined. Where you're going to get this grade is from what you're going to work on today and turn in. It's another 10 points, so this will be a 20-point assignment that I'll put in the gradebook very soon. So let's get to it. So far, we have a lot of equations. You're going to need to solve these, but I want to do a few with you together. So let's first do number 4. This one of like consecutive numbers that add up to 48. What's the smallest one? We agreed that it was this equation, n plus 2 plus n plus 4 is 48. Remember, this is like your first number, there's your second number, and there's your third number. Going up evenly. That's why they go up by 2s. Well, to solve this, let's first combine like terms. I see 1, 2, 3 n, so that'd be 3n, and we can combine some whole numbers. That's 2 and 4, that's plus 6 equals 48. Now it's just a two-step equation that we've been working on. Draw the line, subtract 6 first from both sides, and that leaves us with 3n. Let's get a better 3. 3n equals 42. Then that means 3 times n, so we divide by 3, divide by 3. 3's cancel, and we get n equals 14. The answer that we said it was. All right, that's the type of work you're going to need to have for every problem if you want the full 10 points. Okay, let's move on to another one. Remember, you can pause this at any time or listen again if you need to. I'm going to move to number 6 because number 6 is, we haven't done an equation like this where everything is within a fraction like this. Everything in a fraction. That's kind of weird. Just as a heads up, when you get to work here in a second, number 9 and number 13 are set up very similar to this too. So you might use the same strategy to set up your equation as well. Okay, here's what you need to think about. This divide by 2 here is dividing everything by 2. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of the fraction. And we'll do more problems like these later, but a good way to get rid of fractions is multiplying, because multiplying and dividing undo each other. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2 just to cancel out the dividing by 2, the fraction. That leaves us with b plus 7 equals 44. 2 times 2 is 44. Now we know this last step, subtract 7 on both sides, subtract 7 on both sides, and you get b equals 37 boxes, just like we figured out on our own. Okay, so the main thing with this one, and for problems 9 and 13, is get rid of fraction by multiplying by the denominator. Okay, let's keep going because I want to give you enough time to work. For some of us, we've got all of the equations. Here's number 7 and 8. I know a couple class periods didn't get down to here, number 7 and 8. So if you need to, pause it and copy those down. You'll need to solve them soon. Okay, the other one I want to do with you is number 10, just because I think it's interesting. Okay, and this is what you're going to need to do with 9 through 14, I think it is actually create the equation on your own. You need to create it. This says, how old am I if 400 reduced by 2 times my age is 24? Well, let's keep annotating. 400, that's a number. Reduced means minus. 2 times my age, that means multiplied by 2, is 24. That's going to be our equals 24. So for our equation, Let's do the equals 244 first. That's this total. And it says 400 reduced by 2 times their age. 400 minus 2a equals 244. Okay, to solve this one, let's get rid of the 400 first. Let's get rid of the 400 first. We can't add 2a because remember we want to isolate the variable, and the way we do that is getting rid of the constant or this whole number first. So to do that, subtract 400. Cancel out 400s because that is 0. Don't forget about this negative sign. Bring that down also. Negative 2a equals, let's see, I'm just double checking my math here. 244 minus 400 gives me negative 156. And you might be thinking, what the heck? Negatives? We're talking about age. How can someone be negative? Well, we have one last step left to do, you guys. Divide by negative 2 on both sides. Don't forget to divide by a negative if there's a negative. You got to divide by the same number. That's what allows us to cancel it out. Leaving a for the age. If we got a negative divided by a negative right here, we know our answer is going to be positive. So 156 divided by 2 gives you 78. And if some of you worked ahead and tried to solve some of these on your own, that's the same answer you got. Okay? So here's what you need to do for the rest of this worksheet. Let me zoom out so you can see everything. Here's the answers for number 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay? Remember I told you I don't really care about the answers. The goal is to create and solve the equations. So there's the answers for number 11, 12, 13, and 14. And let's see if I can fit number 9. Here's number 9 also. Okay? In the previous video, we just did number 14, so you have that work. Here's what you got to do if you want those full points. They need to be annotated. Use that race strategy from our notes. They need to have the variable defined for every problem. That should be done already. Variable defined means this right here. Say what the problem or the answer to the problem will mean. Okay? And then you need to write and solve an equation for each problem. We have equations from the front side. You need to write them from this back side. You need to turn this in today. Okay? The way I'm going to grade this is there's a few problems that I'm looking at to make sure that you did. If you do those problems, then you got it. If you don't do those problems, you won't get the grade. You don't know which ones I'm going to look at, so you better do all of them. Okay? Get to work. Be on task. Be awesome. See you guys later. Bye.